What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Comic Breakdown. In this video, we are jumping into Red Goblin issue number 3. Most recently, what we had seen is Normie getting his own symbiote. This symbiote now going by the name of Rascal. And as Normie tries to understand what this means now, who he's going to be, and how he's going to operate moving forward, beneath the city streets, the Goblin Nation is on the rise. They are led by Phil Urich, aka the Goblin King. He is back from the dead and seeking revenge against the person who killed him. That, of course, is Normie Osborn. Kidnapping him and using his blood, reverse engineering it so that he can take the Goblin Formula for him and his followers. And so now Normie and Rascal have embarked on a mission to save Norman. But Normie is going to have to battle through this superpowered Goblin Nation if he has any chance of saving his grandfather. So make sure you guys have subscribed to the channel, make sure that you like this video, and with that being said, let's dive into this breakdown. Alright gang, so our story is going to pick us up 2 years ago, with Normie and Norman riding on the train, something that they wouldn't usually do, but Norman wanted to show him something. As a homeless man comes up asking for a little bit of money, Norman says that he has nothing for them. And Normie doesn't understand. The man has one shoe. We have money. Why can't we help him out? And Norman had taken his grandson on this train ride to show him the way the world is, if you will. Or at least the way that Norman sees the world. That the world is broken into two factions. Those with one shoe and those with three. That eventually the first faction, the one with one shoe, they are going to ask for your third shoe. Eventually, they will come for all three. That the distance from the penthouse to the gutter is a single misstep. To never show any weakness, because the moment you do, they will all drag you down with them. This is where we pick up with Normie battling against the Goblin Nation. Normie Osborn in a very bad state, losing a significant amount of blood. If he doesn't get blood soon, there is a good likelihood that he could die. And while we watch Normie just get thrown the heck around, Rascal is trying, begging for Normie to let him help. The truth is, Normie doesn't have this situation. The Goblin Nation, they are beating the crap out of him. It looks like this might be the end of him, with the Goblin King grabbing hold of Norman, telling him that this is all going to end once they kill the Red Assassin. This is where we drop into a memory of Normie, because Rascal is trying to talk to him. Rascal feels safe in these memories because they are warm. Normie says that he's got to get out of this memory because he has to get up there and he has to fight. But Rascal is saying stop, to let him do it, that he's not a monster. Rascal is learning. Then Normie decides what Rascal is. This is when Normie finally has it click that is why Rascal looks like a goblin. That is the shape that he chose, not what Rascal chose. But he tells Rascal, okay, let's do this, but no bonding. The Goblin Nation believing that they have won. This is where we see Rascal do his thing, seeing pieces of symbiote fly out in all directions. Like little Pac-Men looking for that ghost. They are chomping their way through. We see little balls that look like the Quidditch from Harry Potter. They go flying out in all directions. They are chomping on all the Goblin Nation. And the Goblin King can't help but recognize the beauty of what this is. As Rascal grabs hold of the Goblin King, he gets ready to eat him alive. That is when Norman stops him, tells him to stop listening to the suit, that he is killing them. That's when Normie finally snaps out of it, recognizes what they are doing, seeing everybody laid out before him. He grabs his grandfather and he gets out of these sewers. Getting to the surface, he hightails it over to the hospital. Meanwhile, we have Mrs. Osborn, the mother of Normie, sitting in the principal's office because the principal is saying that Normie is missing and she is ready to bring down all of her power and money to try and figure out what is happening, have this guy removed because they misplaced her son. But that's when she gets a phone call from the hospital, because Norman, now in the hospital, barely alive, but he's gonna make it. With Normie leaving, going into the shadows, going into the alleyway, Rascal is trying to talk to him, but he tells Rascal to not ever talk to me again. As they walk down the alleyway, this is where they are greeted by a dog, barking and baring its teeth. A homeless lady says that this is nothing to be afraid about, that he is all bark and no bite. Well, at least mostly. The only way he will come after you is if you come after me. With the day that he has had, he goes ahead and he sits down. He talks to this lady, he pets the dog. She goes on to say that she hates when people talk about bad dogs, because there is no such thing as a bad dog. There are only bad owners. This kind of hits something in him. He starts to understand. The dog licking him, he gives it a big hug. Down in the sewers, the Goblin King is patching up his forces. They are getting ready to go back up to the surface. They want the power that they just saw. They want the Red Assassin. They want the Red Goblin. If they could add this power to what they already have, they believe that they could be unstoppable. And unfortunately for Timothy Anders, Normie had accidentally left behind just a little clue. The Goblin King is now headed for that boy, and Normie may be the only thing to stop the Goblin Nation. And that will be the end of this issue. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Definitely a fun issue. We're starting to really see Normie begin to understand what it is to have a symbiote. That the symbiote is more of a projection of what he thinks and feels. That it is only the Red Goblin because he chose for it to be the Red Goblin. He wants to act like this symbiote is the bad thing. That it is doing the bad aspects of all of this. The truth is, Normie isn't teaching Rascal right. He wants Rascal to be a hero, but he's not showing him how. He is not guiding him. Instead, he shuns him, like rolling up a newspaper and hitting a dog on the nose. He is understanding that what that old lady told him, that there are no bad dogs, only bad owners. This relates to him because he is being a bad owner to Rascal. That Rascal is only trying to help him. He is trying to make sure that he stays safe. And while Normie cannot help himself but see Rascal as a monster, because of the destructive power he is capable of, the two of them are growing together. They are learning together. And while this is a very bumpy road to begin with, if the two of them can move forward, if they can find a way to truly bond together and learn to be one, he could teach Rascal to be the next greatest symbiote hero. Because Rascal, he's not connected to the hive mind. He has no understanding of the other symbiotes and what they are capable of, what they have done, their history, and everything else. He is a blank slate. He could be what Spider-Man never could with Venom. I, for one, am very excited to watch this grow, to see Normie become the hero that he might be one day, and to see Rascal become the symbiote that we all know he is capable of being. But let me know your thoughts, let me know your theories, if you would like to get completely caught up on everything going on with Red Goblin. Be sure to check out the link in my description, as well as the top of this video. It will get you completely caught up on everything going on with this series. If you would like to support the channel, you can always do so by joining the channel membership. Much like Patreon, having multiple different tiers, from $1 to $50, from loyalty badges to comics every single month. Not only are you helping out the channel tremendously, but you are getting tons of perks in the process. If you are unable to do this, do me a favor, subscribe to the channel, like this video, hit that notification bell, and with that being said, until the next breakdown.